Welcome to the channel A31 Avo. Today, little behind the scenes of the pairing of the Costco's Dapple Dandy, and the Flavor King via Dave Wilson Nursery. Again, both of these originally Zager genetics, but I want to say the patents are expired, so we're free to propagate. Check out the cages. The roots are bundled pretty tight in this one, in the Costco Plout, the Dapple Dandy Plout via Costco. So I went a little narrow with the cages, hopefully driving the roots down. And then these ones right here are spread out. And so I went a little wider with the cage. Again, both of these wrapped around a 15. So just get a 15, wrap a 15, and then wrap it around and then bend the bottom of it to make the bottom. So again, pretty tight, and since they're long on the Flavor King, I'll probably end up squishing it so that it's egg shaped. And before we do that, just so that I take smaller trees, shaping. This is shaping. We're gonna shape them real quick. So take a look at the graft union, knee high. So I'm right here, right where it splits. But then again, this right here, too low, too upright. Too low, too upright. So this is coming off. There. A little wimpy to graft. Can I do it? Probably. So I'll keep it. And then moving up, I'm liking this one again. I would have liked the angle to be less. You want this angle to be greater than 30, preferably 45, and we can do that by either a limb spreader. You can buy a plastic limb spreader, or by weighing this down. I've seen people weigh them down with water bottles, but I honestly tie it back into the cage. I'll tie it back into the cage. I'll tie some landscaping. I'll create a collar using landscaping tie, and then some string to pry them open. Again, if they're more vertical, if they're more upright, when they finally do get fruit and they get loaded, they're gonna snap, in theory. Antonio Cobbs, hi. So again, this is the Flavor King pollinator to the Dapple Dandy. Dapple Dandy Pluots. If you're not familiar with Pluots are plum apricot hybrids. The creator, Floyd Zager family farm, located in Modesto, California. Shout out to the Zager family. So yeah, graft union, knee high. If you want production, come knee high. If you want to be able to kind of hang out under the tree, like maybe read a book, lay under the tree, go waist high. Go up to your waist. Because these are dwarf rootstocks, semi-dwarf, so it's not gonna grow very big. And that's why I say semi hang out under the tree's canopy, like by maybe laying down or sitting down under the tree. Okay, so I like this limb. And this. There, if you know it. So the general rule is 4 cardinal points, one for each, 4 limbs, one for each cardinal point, north, south, east, and west. But I always like to keep keep a spare. So, and here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. This is overlapping, literally the same direction. Take a look, these two. But I'm gonna swing this one over. And so they hub out from the central trunk and they spoke out perfectly without overlapping. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm cutting right here. There. This right here, budwood. Budwood. So I could graft this onto other stone fruit. Peaches, nectarines, plums, apricots. Okay? Put the tag back on. And now shaping. Shaping. So starting at the limb, I'm coming up, and I'm looking for an outward pointing bud right here. These twin buds right here look pretty good. Or I could come up higher. But let's see, I also have to look at the other ones because I have to keep them even with the other ones. So if I go here, this is kind of even with this one. And the thicker ones, you probably want to keep them shorter. And then the taller one, well, the vigor is gonna want to flow to the apical dominant. It's gonna want to flow to the higher point. But so you want to keep the wimpier ones a little bit lower so they get a little bit of vigor. So yeah, it looks like I am going to be able to go here. Yeah, I'll go here. I'll go lower. Again, budwood. And this one, I'll go here. Again, starting from the bottom, coming up. Somewhat even to the neighboring branch. Okay. It's green, still green, good. It's been out of I've been keeping it in this bag, just hydrating it for a week. But I soaked it overnight. So it should be good. This one right here coming up, there's various points. It could have been here, it could have been there, but I'm gonna go with the third one. I'm going to go to the third one so it's kind of even. Third one. That's third limb. So again, from the bottom, come up, right there. And there's not much I can keep here. And then this one, last one. Again, these ones are overlapping. They're parallel, almost parallel to each other. But I'm going to end up swinging it over. Swinging it over. Again, start from the bottom of the limb. And then also, since I'm swinging it over too, you could also leave it on, make corrections. You can leave it on a bud. Say you don't want to swing it over, you could leave it on a bud that has sideways. So it could have been that one. It could have been that one. Say it's parallel and I don't want to tie it. I don't want to train it. I could have just pruned right there, and the branch would have resumed its growth this way, as to not overlap. But I'm swinging it over. I'm swinging it over for sure. So I'm just wanting the outward facing bud. And it could still be a slight correction. It could still be this one. But let me see. No, it'll be this one. Yeah, it'll be these two side buds. I'm sorry. No, it'll be the under one. So take a look. Essentially, it's going to be like this. Central trunk, and everything spokes out from that central trunk, not overlapping. Okay, that was the flavor king. Next up is the Dapple Dandy via Costco Roost Tree Nursery. I don't know the rootstock. There's no label for the rootstock here. The Flavor King is on Citation Hybrid rootstock. This unknown. From tree to tree, disinfect. And again, normally knee high, a little bit higher than I would like, but it's still pretty good. Sometimes even knee high is a little too low. So this is pretty good. Again, clean up all these little wimpy ones. They're never really going to be able to outcompete the two lateral branches that I'm going to keep. And so I would rather it to rejuvenate and send out new suckers. And again, kind of snapped and broken anyways. Clean it up. Two upright here. Snapped and upright anyways. And two wimpy. And so this one coming up right here. It's not too expressed, but I feel it. Right here. Okay. Green, alive. And then the lateral. So the central trunk is already gonna have, it's gonna wanna dominate since it has vigor, it has thickness over this thinner branch. Not a wimpy branch, it's a pretty nice girth, but it is less thicker than the central trunk. And so I wanna, basically I want it to be able to compete with the thickness of the central trunk. So I gave the lateral branch height. I gave the lateral branch height over the central trunk. So slightly, because I'm gonna leave it on this one right here. And this is gonna shoot out this way. Again, away. And that's a little bit too close. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, take a look of the shape. This has girth. Neil from Anaheim here. OC Neil, thank you for checking it. Is Flavor Supreme Dapple Dandy? No, Dapple Dandy is not Flavor Supreme. Flavor Supreme is another variety. It's similar. I want to say, I don't know if it's improved Dapple Dandy or it's just, but basically like if the Dapple Dandy is like a fused flesh, like it'll be like red and yellow. The Flavor Supreme is gonna be all red. The meat on it is gonna be all red. So again, the Dapple Dandy, even the meat is gonna be somewhat like dappled and fused, two colors. But the Flavor Supreme is gonna be like green skinned, also some dappling, but then the meat is gonna be like blood red. So yeah, take a look at that shape. And again, this right here, budwood. This is what I'm taking to the California Rare Fruit Growers Monterey chapter science swap meet. So the thing, I have Flavor Supreme and I selected against it. I don't mean it's chill hours. I have it both in a multi-graft, Dapple Dandy, Flavor Supreme, Flavor King, Flavor Queen, in a can in a 25, and I did not flower. And then I had it as a standalone tree in ground, and it also did not flower. So I'm not waiting around and like hoping for a cool season, maybe. Nah, I need production. I need production immediately. And so if I'm on the border where I might not meet its chill hours, I'll go with something with less chill hours. I might leave a branch in ground, but again, I'd rather graft onto it something that is a known producer. All right, stay tuned. Stay tuned. This was just a little behind the scenes. Expect the long video formats either today or tomorrow. Stay tuned. I'm gonna go plant these trees. Thank you for the support. Peace. Have a good one. OC Neo and Antonio Cobbs. OC Neo, very good. Thank you. Appreciate the support, OC Neo. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you. Have a good one.